I think it was a very successful business. It can help you earn some extra money while you are students.
What I really like about the idea of a cosmetics business is that for the 3 side hustles, which one do you think you're gravitating towards now?
I actually want to try out.
Hi guys! Welcome to another episode of
Passion Project Japan.
This is the first episode of 2024 and we are excited for what this year has in store for us. So what's the topic for our first episode?
So the topic for our first episode today is 3 side hustles to start in Japan in 2024.
Yeah, whether you're like a student or you're an assistant language teacher looking to make, some extra income on the side. You might even be like full-time employee and like a shinzotsu, like a new graduate. Yeah, and then you're trying to find different ways or different streams of income. We have picked out like 3 side hustles we think are pretty unique and interesting. Maybe not some of them are unique, some of them are kind of more mainstream, but just 3 that we think that you can start here in Japan and it's not too difficult.
Yeah, like for example, if it's like a translation job, sometimes you really need to be fluent in your own language, your mother tongue, English or Japanese. But in these side hustles, we think that they're more flexible and doesn't require much like language ability or Yeah,
I guess it's also pretty low capital, so anybody can pretty much start this, whether like you're a broke student, university student, or maybe you're ALT, you have a bit more money. So let's just jump into it.
Hey there. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, please do so. So the first one here we list out is coaching.
Okay, so what is a coaching side hustle? How does that look like?
Well, to give a general idea, it's more like, if you have a specialty in something, for example, you're good at singing, or you're good at like a certain kind of sport, or you're good at like, giving people advice about your career, I think it's a good way to start a coaching business in Japan.
Yeah, I think, so for coaching businesses, the thing that is interesting is that you don't necessarily need to be like a industry expert on that topic. For example, like a career coach, of course it'd be good if you have some experience under your belt. You don't want to be like blind leading the blind, but if you just have like a little bit more experience than the person you're coaching, I think it's possible that you can really give some valuable insights to them and really bring them through the process. Yeah, I think I know some people such as Annie. You know Annie?
I do know her.
Yeah, Annie Huang, Hoang. I hope I'm saying that correct.
Yeah.
She started her own kind of coaching business. So she graduated from university here in Japan, and I think during that process she learned a lot about like the job hunting process, if I'm not wrong, and because of that now she basically gives this kind of consultation programs or coaching sessions to other international students. So that is one thing that you can start if you're familiar with the system.
Yeah, for sure. For students who are like trying to get a job in Japan, sometimes they can get lost in the process because you have to apply for entry sheet, or you have to, if you're looking for an international program, then it might be more difficult because you need to be fluent in both Japanese and English. And those kind of like nayami, like concerns, can be troublesome to just dealing with yourself, right? So having a mentor is very important. And yeah, it can become a so-called business for yourself if you're really familiar with the process.
And I think your first few customers can just be friends, or you don't need to charge them. In fact, I would say you shouldn't charge them. You should go and find your feet and learn how to do this coaching session. Make sure that you're actually bringing them value. Get some feedback. So at the start of the session, you can tell them on a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are you of, for example, if we are doing the job hunting example. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are you of the job hunting procedure? How confident are you in doing job hunting in Japan? Maybe they'll say like 3 or 4. And okay, so by this end of the session, hopefully like that number will go up. And so you bring them through a session, maybe like 1 or 2 hours of coaching. At the end, you tell them, okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you now? And if you're able to, bring that level up, and they can like kind of say like maybe like a 7, you know that, okay, you've done some good work. This could be something that you can turn into a business. And you collect a few of their reviews and their testimonials. You build a really, really simple like landing page or something on like so many different platforms. You can do it on Card. If you have money, you can do it on Squarespace, but you don't have to. Yeah, you can do it on Wix, and just put their testimonials and do like a trial, maybe like 15-minute like consultation, free consultation. And if they like the thing, then they can continue and pay for your services. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you though. So if you were to open your own like coaching business.
Yeah.
What kind of niche would you go for?
What kind of niche would I go for? So it's kind of funny that you say that because I've been kind of working behind the scenes a little bit on this coaching program for you guys. Yeah, so it's called the Passion Project program. And basically, like startup incubators. It's kind of like accelerating their startup ideas and giving them the foundation to think of an idea and propose the problem. None of us have started, both of us haven't started a startup, but we have started passion projects. And I think that there are some frameworks that I've read about and learned about in different workshops that I've attended that I would like to bring over and kind of coach, young students here in Japan, or just young people, excited, hungry young people, to figure out what their passion project is and how they can build like a minimum viable product or MVP in like 6 weeks. So I'm building that program right now, and it's kind of not really forcing people to do their passion project, but it's guiding them through like 6 weeks. Every week there will be check-ins, coaching sessions. I have some network of really interesting people all over Japan, so I can bring them in and ask them to speak with participants. So there's kind of like that coaching. Well, maybe it's more like a workshop, but I also provide some coaching myself. So the next side hustle you can start in Japan is a cosmetic business. Yeah, one of our friends actually started this. Her name is Sora. The name of her Instagram page is over here. She kind of she started it when she was a university student. Right now she's working, I believe, in Tokyo. So she stopped for a while, but I think she's going to resume back in February. She said that it's pretty simple to start a cosmetic business, actually. She saw like the trend on TikTok. She went to Amazon to find like the ingredients and bought it. Put it together, come up with the branding, cut up with the photo shoots and everything, put it out online, and then, let people discover and buy it.
Yeah, and I was one of her customers. I really enjoy the product. I mean, I'm actually wearing the lipstick right now.
Ah, really?
Yes.
This is not sponsored, by the way.
It's not sponsored, by the way, but yes, I think it was a very successful business, like a nano business that can influence, that can help you earn some extra money while you are students. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, so what I really like about this, her business and like the idea of a cosmetics business is that it presents opportunities to collaborate with other really creative people. For example, you can, create this lipstick product. One of your friends is a good photographer, so be like, hey, you want to do like a photo shoot together with me to advertise this lipstick? So these kind of side hustles are pretty good because it creates this community. Like you can bring other people into this project. So I'm a fan of it. I think it's not too difficult because you can DIY. Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Then again, I don't know much about lipstick or makeup, so...
Yeah, but again, if you're really interested in, if you are a makeup enthusiast, it's kind of fulfilling your interest and, your experience, skills at the same time, right? And personally, I really like lipstick, so I feel like I want to start this in the future.
How about the actionable steps that people can take to start their cosmetics business?
Maybe go on TikTok first, see the trends, and then start finding ingredients online. But if you really want to start it, maybe start small and find out how you can get the most ideal ingredients and the texture, everything. And then if you really want to start it seriously, then maybe you still have to deal with legal stuff, right? And that's when it gets more complicated. No?
It might, yeah, especially distribution. I see over here that it says that the ingredients are beeswax, shea butter, or mango butter, almond butter, avocado butter, and almond oil, or extra virgin olive oil. So these are all ingredients you can get on platforms like Amazon, and you can basically get a whole big bunch of it, and then you can make a whole big bulk of lipstick. I believe that is what Sora did. So if you're interested to find out more, you can DM her and ask her how she started her business. But in terms of creating this side hustle that can be profitable, it's a good practice for your branding skills, your campaign skills, sales skills, coming up with a creative photo shoot concept. Yeah, I think it can be a pretty fun project and pretty fun side hustle.
Yeah.
Guys, we are upping up our short form content game this year, so if you don't want to miss that out, please follow us at Passion Project JP on Instagram and TikTok. Exclusive content just for you guys.
Next one is digital publication. What do you mean by digital publication? It can be in any form?
It can be... Okay, so I have a friend who started this Japanese subculture magazine. It grew, I think right now it's almost 250,000 followers. It's called yokogao.mag, and it's just crazy just how fast it grew. I think it grew in less than 6 months, right? And basically he's kind of curating really interesting stories or pieces, fashion, culture, anime of Japanese subculture, right? And I was thinking like that is something that a lot of people can start here in Japan. You can start a not specifically like subculture, but you can start a curation of things that you really enjoy. For example, I'm sure you've come to Japan because you enjoy like something. Maybe it's like the Stone Garden in Kyoto, and you thought that was really interesting, and that's your gateway into Japan. Maybe you really like Mount Fuji, for example, so you can curate photos of Mount Fuji or whatever. So I think there's many different kind of pockets of. I think my one very interesting one is like JDM. Is it JDM?
No.
Those like I suddenly forgot like the cars, those really cool classic Japanese cars. You can do like curation of like those really cool Japanese car clips, and then after that like just put it on Instagram and then build a following, and then get people excited, and you can make some articles about it. Yeah, and then slowly you build a social media following, and so you can release stuff like merchandise. You can release stuff like a magazine, a real physical magazine, or you can just build it up and do like brand sponsorship if you have big enough following. So this is something that I think is possible for anyone to start in 2024 with Instagram, with TikTok. Yeah.
Right. I mean, in a sense, Passion Project is also a digital publication, right? We're trying to publish video in the future, maybe more form, newsletter, a podcast, what else? Websites.
Yeah.
So hopefully it can become our side hustle in the future.
We definitely want to turn this into a side hustle. But I think a really interesting insight is that we have to think of how our content can be really useful and really engaging for people. Whereas for curation sites, if you're just curating like a certain piece, you already know there is a following, and those like genius creators, for example, if you take Akira, for example, the anime, the classic anime, like creating clips or curating clips from Akira, that is already really engaging, and there's already an inbuilt audience, so people will naturally gravitate to that. So in that kind of similar vein, I would say that that's a pretty smart strategy. You just curate stuff that people have already an interest in, and then you build your following, and that's when you kind of drop, merchandise, for example, or build a brand following. Of all the three side hustles, which one do you think that you're gravitating towards now?
Me? I actually want to try out the cosmetics business. It seems, I would say promising and fun to start. It is the combination of my own interest in lipsticks, for example, and working with like content creation, working with a team, bring out the product, sell it. The process of doing so is really fascinating for me. Whereas comparing to other two side hustles, it can be just on your own. I feel like there's a lot of process going on when building a cosmetic business compared to other. I might be wrong, but that's my imagination when I start. If I ever start one of these three side hustles.
Yeah, and for us, I think 1 in 3 is kind of okay. Maybe like curation part not so much in Passion Project Japan, but we want to build Passion Project program number 1, which is that coaching workshop incubator style thing, and number 3, we want to start like a newsletter. So we are kind of building our website right now. And so there's a lot more things that we want to do. Of course, it takes time, takes a lot of effort. But yeah, I think that's part of our like side hustle strategy in 2024.
So those are our 3 side hustles that we think would be great to start in 2024.
Yeah, and if you have any other ideas or any other, brilliant kind of innovative side hustles that you want to start, please feel free to DM us or comment on this video. We'll be happy to brainstorm together with you. If you like this kind of content, please share it with your friends. Like and subscribe as always. Follow us on Instagram at Passion Project JP, TikTok at Passion Project JP. And we hope you have a really good 2024.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!